25-year-old Shannon has lost her baby girl. 4 nights ago, she took her to a restaurant, and she hasn't seen her since.
Some of the customers noticed that I was acting a little bit off. I was approached by 2 officers. They decided to take me to jail.
Mother apparently had a bag full of different medications.
Shannon's child is now in the hands of the Los Angeles Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS.
Do you think that you deserve to have your daughter taken away from you?
Yeah. With that said, I do think that I deserve another chance, though.
What happens when a parent puts their child at risk? When the state becomes responsible for the future of a family? Los Angeles County has the largest foster care system in the country, but it's been described as a system in crisis.
What do we want? Child safety! Now!
We've been given an unprecedented look inside a system that is under fire, struggling to care for thousands of children. We'll explore what's gone wrong.
Every worker feels the sense of having no support.
And what the system is getting right. From social workers on the front lines.
I'm calling from the Department of Children and Family Services. I need the police regarding allegations of child abuse.
To foster parents who step in at a moment's notice.
They need to feel safe. They need to know that they're loved.
I know you know that word.
To mothers fighting to put their families back on track.
Did you feel guilty as a mother?
Yes, every day.
Come here, give me my hug.
That's why I won't stop until I get them back.
America. It can be inspiring and beautiful. It can also be dark and ugly. It's so many things, but it's ours. It's our America. Los Angeles County, population 9.9 million. It's a dense labyrinth of cities and neighborhoods covering more than 4,000 square miles, and it's home to 2.5 million children. When their families fail to care for them, it's the job of DCFS to step in.
I'm with the Department of Children and Family Services hotline. How you doing?
The Child Abuse Hotline receives as many as 1,000 calls a day. And when there is a substantial threat of danger, it's a social worker who drives out to investigate. So what do we know about this case?
A mother was spotted at a restaurant under the influence of some type of substance and was driving with her 10-month-old child.
Vasone and I are heading to the Culver City Police Station, where a mother and her baby have been taken into custody. A mother herself, Vasone has spent 11 years as an emergency response worker.
I'll text you as soon as I'm ready to come out.
Okay.
Okay.
She's removed hundreds of children from dangerous homes. But the decision to separate a child from their parent is never an easy one. We're not allowed to bring cameras into the police station, so Vasone has gone in. She's going to try and talk to the mother and see if they have any relatives in the area. If not, there's a very good chance that Vasone will be leaving this police station with a baby in her arms. Daylight slips away as we wait. And when Vasone emerges, she's not alone.
Okay, we're gonna go this way.
I put her in there.
Let me pull the front seat up.
This is baby Lily. She's 10 months old. Her mother is inside, still detained and still under the influence.
She's a former heroin addict, and she said a combination of some of the medication that she's taken has left her lethargic and pretty much out of it. But the good thing is, she appears to be a happy baby.
She's a beautiful little girl.
Yeah, she's a beautiful little girl.
Lily's mother has no relatives in the area that are able to care for her. So Vasone is taking her to the DCFS Welcome Center, a first stop for young children entering the system.
Oh, what's wrong, baby girl? This baby, in many ways, is sort of in limbo right now.
Yes.
For the next 24 hours, who knows where she could end up?
I do know that there's a grandmother, but she's in Utah. She's trying to make her way here.
You're ready, huh?
We're gonna take your ball.
From the moment DCFS comes into contact with a child, they are responsible for them, whether they go to live with a relative, enter foster care, or return home. And until DCFS is certain that there is a relative both fit and willing to care for Lily, she'll remain with the county. The Welcome Center is where children ages 12 and younger are brought while they await placement in foster care.
We're here.
Like baby Lily, every child here is in limbo, caught between a life they knew and a future that is uncertain.
Calling to find out if you have vacancy for a 10-month-old baby.
A future that now lies in the hands of a social worker at the DCFS command post, whose job it is to work the phone banks and find them a new home.
I was trying to see if you have a vacancy for a 10-month-old baby. Do you know of any other agencies that could help me?
State law requires that the county find placement for children within 24 hours of bringing them to the Welcome Center, but it can often take much longer. And tonight, there are 8 other children over the age of 12 waiting at Command Post, a converted office building and a place of last resort. Kids over 12 years old who are awaiting placement have to come here to the Command Post. There's one kid who has slept here for 8 nights in a row and one who celebrated his birthday here today. For the last 3 years, the number of kids entering the system has been on the rise, while the number of foster homes has gone down. And finding suitable placements is becoming increasingly more difficult.
This is Command Post DCFS. Was calling to find out if you had any vacancies for a 10-month-old baby girl. If you can, give me a call back.
While Lily settles in for the night, there's no sign of things slowing down for the Welcome Center staff. Jackie is the supervisor here tonight, and her job is nonstop.
Here are your 3 packets. Let's make sure that they're accurate.
Jackie, it's 10 p.m. on a Sunday night, and it seems a little frantic in here right now. What's happening?
What's happening is we're moving 3 kids out. We actually have foster care placement for them, and so we've got our driver here.
After hours of working the phone lines, DCFS has finally found families willing to take in some of the children here. But in one case, the news is heartbreaking for 2 siblings trying to stay together.
Okay, so say goodbye to your sister. Let me get his phone number for you, okay? Let me get his phone number. I'll get his phone. Okay, but you gotta be strong. Your brother needs you to be strong, okay?
There were 2 siblings here, an older sister and a little brother. And the little brother was just placed, and the older sister has to stay here. Older siblings are some of the hardest kids to place in the system, and oh man.
If we're separating siblings, we try to do it as quickly as possible because it prolongs the pain. We found a placement for him, we haven't found one for her. Part of the reason we had her here is so they could stay together and work on that type of placement. Sometimes it happens, most times it doesn't.
Oh God, how do you do this?
It's not easy, so it's tough.
Tonight, a sister will have to say goodbye to her little brother. He will leave, and she will stay behind, while DCFS tries to find a family willing to take her in.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Gray. I'll show you. Don't lose another. Yeah, you will. No, sooner than that. Don't worry. Come on. You got some stuff? Did you come with some stuff? No? All right, let's find out.
In a perfect world, there would be a home with 2 beds for 2 siblings. But it's not a perfect world, and it's far from a perfect system. And the media is taking note.
An urgent need for foster parents in Los Angeles County.
System is flooded with children who need homes.
The Department of Children and Family Services has been facing mounting pressure to overhaul the entire organization. Pressure that has the potential not only to transform the system, but to shut it down.
What do we want?
Child safety!
LA County's foster care system is facing a crisis, one that has captured the attention of local media.
Graphic new details tonight in the death of an 8-year-old Palmdale boy.
Despite many complaints and hotline calls, the case got precious little attention from the Department of Children and Family Services.
8-year-old Gabriel Fernandez died, allegedly, at the hands of his own mother and her boyfriend. DCFS had received multiple reports that the child was being abused, but somehow Gabriel was never removed from his home. I'm about to meet the latest in a long line of DCFS directors, a man who is now grappling with the fallout of tragedy, Philip Browning.
There appeared to be just a lack of common sense in some of the decision-making by our workers, where there would be child fatality reports, where I'm thinking, how in the world could this worker have missed this? But I think sometimes we've tried so hard to ensure that the child stay with their home that we've had more situations that were adverse than we would like.
Gabriel wasn't the only child to die on the county's watch. A report conducted by a Children's Special Investigation Unit showed systemic failures that contributed to the deaths of 14 children in less than 2 years, and that an emphasis on keeping families together had let too many children slip through the cracks. In the 2 years since the report, a combination of factors has led to more calls coming into the hotline and more children entering the system. The problem is the county is running low on places to put them.
Would you say you've reached a crisis level in that there aren't enough foster parents to foster the thousands of children in the system?
Well, I think we have reached a level where we've got to do something different. Our real need is for foster parents who can take younger children.
A shortage of foster homes isn't the system's only problem. An increased caseload is falling on the shoulders of an overworked staff of social workers, and they have reached their breaking point.
We're heading over to the largest demonstration of LA County workers in more than a decade. This bus is filled with DCFS social workers, and they want to express to the LA County Board of Supervisors their grievances, and there are many.
What do we want?
Child safety!
When do we want it?
Now!
Our primary concern is just this workload has gotten unbearable. The amount of stress that it creates on the worker, just not enough time to do the job that we're asked to do.
33-year-old Randy has been with DCFS for 8 years.
What is your caseload presently?
Right now I'm at 43, which is my personal highest. We're not supposed to be over 31, actually, so it's a lot to keep up with.
Do you often have kids in the office because they've had issues with placement?
Things seem to be getting worse where the caregivers are getting pickier. Maybe it's because we have a shortage of placements and we're begging people to take our kids. I have a very independent 18-year-old that I've spent almost 2 weeks, day after day, trying to find placement for her, where I was going to McDonald's, buying her food, and bringing her downtown because we didn't have a placement at night for her. She needed a place to sleep. And that's one kid. I've got 42 other ones. So there's a real mission of acknowledging the amount of time that it takes to do good social work. Something's got to give.
Randy isn't the only one who feels this way. According to the Workers Union, over 50% of social workers in Los Angeles County have reported that at times their caseloads have topped more than 40 in a single month. They argue that without more support, children at risk will once again fall through the cracks.
What do we want? Child safety! Now!
When a system becomes so stressed, what happens to the children it's designed to protect? Without enough foster homes, without enough social workers, can they really do the job they've been tasked with? Despite thousands of overworked social workers, baby Lily was placed in a foster home within 24 hours.
After numerous calls from command posts to different foster families, different foster care agencies, a couple in Lancaster, which is over 60 miles away from Culver City, where the baby's journey first began, agreed to take her. Hi, how are you? I'm Lisa.
Good. Hi, Lisa. I'm
nice
Isaac.
Nice to meet you.
It's my wife, Alicia.
Hi, Alicia.
Nice to meet you.
And these are the babies.
Here they are. Here she is. Hi, sweetheart.
Isaac, a software technician, and his wife, Alicia, have been foster parents for 2.5 years. In addition to Lily, they have another little girl that has been with them for almost a year. Lily is the 9th baby for whom they provided a home.
We met this baby in Culver City. Did you receive a call, or how did she end up here?
Our agency called us and said, you know, we have a placement for you. Are you willing to take her? We just said, sure, we'd take her. We'd love to have her.
It's really difficult to place infants.
Yeah.
Why is the infant demographic the one that you are interested in?
My wife was in the system for a few years as a child, and my parents were foster parents. So it's kind of like our way to give back to the system and help children out.
Do you think about what this baby has been through, and not just the last 24 hours, but you know, that ultimately led to her parents losing her?
We don't judge. We focus on providing the best care she can have. And then from there, we help towards the reunification. Our goal is always to help the families get their babies back, to help them in whatever means that is.
Isaac and Alicia receive $800 a month for each of the babies they care for. But they give something that no amount of money can buy.
It's definitely not a profit-making type of thing. You do it because you love helping out for the baby. And that's why we do it.
You can tell she likes being held alive.
Yeah. They need to feel safe. They need to know that they're loved. They need to know that they have somebody that's going to take care of them right from the beginning. They've already lost everything. I know what that feels like. So I think that's why I can give the love, because I know that she needs it. I know what I needed, and I know what I received. So I want to give that back to each baby that comes to my home.
At a moment's notice, Isaac and Alicia have agreed to care for and love this baby. Yet they also know she could be gone from their lives as quickly as she came.
Is it hard not to get attached to these babies?
They each get a piece of our heart, and it's almost instantly, so.
Yeah.
That's why it hurts so bad when they go home.
Tomorrow, the county will hold a hearing and decide whether or not it's in Lily's best interest to stay in foster care.
If they do detain her, then they're gonna create a unification plan for Mom, and hopefully she complies. If not, we're more than willing to keep her here for as long as it takes.
Yeah, she has a home as long as she needs one here.
It's one of the most important components of the child welfare system. Temporary parents for the thousands of kids that are removed from dangerous homes. But I'm about to meet a mother on the other side of the equation, who is now fighting to get her kids back. A year and a half ago, 47-year-old Monica, mother of 3, was in love with a man she hoped would be a good husband and a good father. He turned out to be abusive.
Had he ever hurt your kids before?
No.
Had he ever hurt you?
Yes.
Monica ended the relationship and took out a restraining order, hoping the worst was over. But Monica's nightmare was just beginning.
He felt the only way that he could get me to communicate with him was to go to the school and take my child. That's how he lured me to the park.
Monica panicked. Her 6-year-old daughter was in the hands of someone she knew to be dangerous.
I called the police. They didn't show.
Frustrated and afraid for her child, Monica then did something she now deeply regrets.
I took a gun and I went to the park. I was afraid of him. I just thought, I can't allow him to kidnap or hurt her or me. He didn't take me serious. I wind up firing a shot in the air. I was arrested and my children were taken into custody that day.
No one was physically hurt, but the consequences were devastating. Monica was sent to jail, charged with assault with a deadly weapon and child endangerment. With no family members to take them in, her 3 children, Troy, Kaliha, and Mwani, were placed in foster care.
It's a very scary feeling. You feel empty, you're worried, you know, are they okay? Are they all right? How are they feeling? Is the foster home they're in, are they treating them well?
Part of Monica's concerns for her kids stemmed from personal experience.
How long were you in foster care?
From the ages of 10 to 16. I remember the first night of being taken, I was very scared. Even though I was being abused, I was being taken from my home. I felt very alone and like I was being punished for something that I had no control over.
Monica says she spent years in the system, in and out of over 30 placements.
And that's why I was so determined to let them know that I would never stop doing what I had to do until I get them back. And I won't. I won't stop until I get them back.
Monica will have to convince the courts that she's a fit mother. But DCFS has given her a roadmap to follow, a reunification plan that includes parenting classes. But it will take more than just showing up.
What we want our children to change, we also want to look at ourselves. So as we set goals for them, make sure we set goals for ourselves.
The classes are not only teaching Monica how to communicate better with her kids, but have also given her insight into the events that led to their removal.
I've learned to recognize that there are a lot of different types of abuse. If I'm being abused and they're being abused, because whatever I'm going through, they're going through.
So the classes help you realize that you might not have been putting the kids in the best situation prior.
You definitely need to look at the character of a person that you bring into your life and your children's lives. Everybody's not fit to be around your children.
After 6 months of following the court's orders, Monica's son, 14-year-old Troy, was allowed to come home.
So you had a pretty good day today?
We're starting to move on to how the human body reproduces. So most of the time, people are talking about ejaculation.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good topic then.
Pretty good topic.
Discussion? Debate? What do you want to call it?
We're talking about ejaculation.
And what the who? Oh my God. I surely thought you said something else.
Having Troy home has brought life back into the house, but there are still 2 empty seats at the dinner table. Every night, Monica waits for 6 o'clock when she gets to talk on the phone with her daughters.
Hi, I was calling to speak with the girls, but I see you guys are not in at the time. So if you could, let them give me a call when they get in. Okay, bye-bye.
The court has decided to keep Monica's younger children, 6-year-old Mwani and 10-year-old Kaliha, in foster care while they continue to monitor Monica's progress.
Usually the girls would be in by now. I don't know what's going on over there.
Across town, it's another mother taking care of Monica's 2 daughters.
Do number 10 for me.
1, 2.
It's homework time for Mwani and Kaliha and their foster mom, Regina.
So what should go here?
Mwani is struggling with a math assignment that should be within her grasp.
Now we're gonna do it backwards. What number is this?
16, 15, 14.
Now what goes here?
20.
No.
Since the separation from her mother, Mwani's grades have been plummeting, and she's not alone. Children in foster care often fall behind in school. Numerous moves combined with traumatic experiences can cause them to fare worse than their peers.
Do you think the kids have been languishing in foster care?
To some extent, yes. Mwani is in danger of failing the 1st grade.
Had she ever had issues with grades before?
No. That was a battle that I had been battling for almost a year, to get them moved, to get somebody to listen. Look at what's going on.
This is good.
When Mwani's grades began to suffer, Monica lobbied for a new foster care placement.
You're full? Then you don't want any dessert.
Regina has only had the girls for a week. Monica's social worker helped transfer them here, where they will now live with 3 other kids she's fostering.
Oh, I spit in your food.
No spitting.
Regina is a seasoned foster mom, and so far, Mwani and Kaliha are doing better under her care.
I always tell my kids the past is the past. We're gonna focus on the future and what we can do to help you get through it.
Most of them will eventually go back to their parents.
Right.
So how do you prevent yourself from becoming too emotional?
I've learned not to put a wall up, but to nurture them as my own kids, and you still can love them, even though they go home.
Do you think that this has been the best course of action for the kids, to have them in DCFS custody?
Without having no family myself, what would have happened to my children if there wasn't the foster care system? Hi, baby. How are you?
I'm Eden.
I miss you. You did your homework? All right, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. It's like an army on the battlefield. Everybody plays their position. It does take that foster parent to play their role. It does take that social worker to advocate for you. It takes more than one person to win the battle. All right, well, Mommy just wanted to hear your voice and let you know that I love you. I was thinking about you.
It's too soon to tell how the girls will do in their new placement. But until their mother has proven she's capable of caring for them, Mwani and Kaliha will remain in foster care.
Good night. See you in the morning.
Across the county, Isaac and Alicia continue to watch over Lily. While in children's court, her mother braces herself for a verdict.
Before we proceed, let me just note I'm not able to start proceedings until the young people take a teddy bear home with them.
Today is a happy day in the Edelman Children's Court. It's the day when, after doing a lot of work, parents are finally and officially going to be reunited with their children, and it's all happening in this courtroom. Michael Nash is the presiding judge of the LA County Juvenile Court.
Seeing a family that came into the system in distress leave the system in a much healthier situation. That's what it's all about, and there is nothing that we do in the court system that's better than that.
It's what the courts strive for, and last year, more than 6,000 kids were reunited with their families. Today, it's all about celebrating those achievements.
At this time, the court has determined there is no longer a need for oversight of this family, and the jurisdiction of the court is hereby terminated. Congratulations to you all, and God bless you.
Wow.
There are a lot of misconceptions about the LA foster care system. What do you want people to know about how the system treats and takes care of children?
What we want for these kids is what we want for our own kids. We want them to all grow up in a healthy, loving family. That's what children need. And we have to do it in a timely way, because if you blink your eyes, childhood's gone.
Sound it out. Good girl.
The Queen.
A mother feels those precious seconds slip away faster than most.
Yellow.
For Monica, the weekly visit she has with Mwani and Kaliha fly by, no matter how hard she tries to slow them down.
I know you know that word.
By.
At her.
At her.
Mwani and Kaliha are now allowed to come home for the entire weekend. 48 hours each week for the family to rebuild their ties.
You guys are all so close to your mom, huh?
Yeah.
Has it been hard to be away from her? And to be away from home?
Yeah.
What about you, Troy? Was it hard for you to be away from her?
Yeah, it was around 5 months that I was away. And then I don't know what happened exactly, but the last court date, I got to go home, and then Kalia and Tibby didn't. It was just bad. I just wish it was the other way around.
Why did you feel that way?
Because Kalia and Tibby need her more than I do.
You felt like you could handle it better if you were in foster care and the girls could go home?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. You don't have to talk about it anymore. You're gonna be back with your mom soon, honey. And she's been fighting really hard for you because she wants you guys back with her. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you proud of her?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
After almost a year of uncertainty, Kaliha is afraid to trust that her and her sister's time within the foster care system may soon be over.
You want to help Mommy get your stuff ready?
Yeah!
Calm down.
In 1 month, Monica and her girls will be back in the courtroom.
Thank you.
A judge will decide if she can finally take her daughters home for good. Until then, each weekend must end with a separation.
All right, come on. It's hard. Every week I have to take them back. My heart is broken. Come here, give me my hug. Come here. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think about that day and what I could have done different. All right.
I will talk to you this evening.
Yeah. And what this situation has done to my children.
All right, love you guys.
And that I'm the reason, I'm the cause of it. I think about it every day.
Inside Children's Court, another mother is thinking about a day she too wishes she could do over.
The basis for the findings and orders are as follows. Mother and child were apparently seated at a restaurant, and others noticed that mother appeared to not be attending to her daughter, and law enforcement was called.
25-year-old Shannon is baby Lily's mother. And today, she and her daughter's fates are in the hands of Commissioner Martinez.
When law enforcement arrived, mother found to be very lethargic and unresponsive. She apparently had a bag full of different medications. She advised that she has a history of substance abuse. It appears that mother and driven with Lily, who is not quite a year old, posing an enormous risk to Lily. I find substantial danger exists to her, and there is no reasonable means to protect her without now detaining her. Her care and her custody is vested with the Department of Children and Family Services.
Though the court would rule to grant Shannon frequent visits, for the foreseeable future, her daughter will have to remain in foster care. It's the last thing Shannon thought would happen when she moved here from Utah just 2 weeks ago, looking for a chance to start over.
In Utah, it's really hard for me to escape that lifestyle when I'm, surrounded by the people that I used with.
Shannon tells me she struggled with drug addiction prior to getting pregnant. Fearing relapse in her hometown, she and her daughter headed west to California.
Shannon, you came out here with aspirations of starting new, but weren't quite able to do so.
No.
Why did you need the medication?
I really loved my daughter's father, and he didn't love me back. I let that heartbreak take over. I wanted to take a pill to replace somebody that hurt me.
What happened the other night?
We went to go get some yogurt. Some of the customers noticed that I was acting a little bit off. I was approached by 2 officers, and then they decided to take me to jail. And I just remember they had her in the front seat, but there was a window dividing us, and I just couldn't get to her. And I couldn't say bye. I mean, I was just in shock.
Shannon's mother, Kathy, flew out to Los Angeles to join her after getting the news.
The police called me and told me that they had my daughter in custody. They just said, how soon can you get down here and pick the baby up? But by the time I got here, she'd already been taken away to child services.
Shannon's mother arrived after Lily was taken into DCFS custody, and now she has to undergo her own background check to qualify as a temporary parent.
Do you think that you were endangering your child that day?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that you deserve to have your daughter taken away from you?
Yeah. With that said, I do think that I deserve another chance, though. I feel a lot of people look at me and think I'm a bad mom. And, truthfully, in that situation, I was a bad mom. But I'm not giving up. I'm not gonna stop trying. I'm not ever gonna give up.
In the room where she and her daughter had barely begun a new life, Shannon is now preparing for their time apart.
We started to pack some of her stuff away for the foster parents.
So you're gonna have someone take her stuff to them?
Yeah, I want her to feel at home.
Do you understand the work that is required in order to get your daughter back?
It's hard, and I understand that, but I'm willing to do it for my daughter. She means everything to me.
In northern Los Angeles County, it's a big day for baby Lily.
Even the baby sounds happy about that.
It's been over a month since she's seen her mother. And today, Isaac and Alicia are driving an hour from their home in Lancaster.
All right, it looks like we found it.
Ready to see Mommy, huh?
So that Lily can visit with Shannon at a regional DCFS outpost.
Here's Lily.
Lily.
Hi.
Under supervision, mother and daughter will have 2 hours together. While they reconnect, their social worker, Katrina, will take note of Shannon's behavior, looking to see if she shows up sober and on time.
Mimi. Cutie.
At 10 minutes past the hour, 10 minutes past the start of Shannon's scheduled visit with Lily, Katrina is starting to get worried.
Children belong with families, not with DCFS. Social workers try to do everything we can to keep families intact, but that isn't always the case, unfortunately.
A half hour later, Katrina and Lily are still waiting.
It's difficult for everyone, social worker, the child, the parent. I'm sure Mom wanted to see her, but for whatever reason, she wasn't able to make it. Hey, Mom didn't show up for her visit, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and foster parents are ready. Okay, thanks.
Bye.
We learn later that Shannon had relapsed. It's unclear how it will affect her fight for Lily, but her absence could be a setback. Ultimately, it's up to the courts to decide, but it's the social workers that oversee the family's progress. Monica's social worker, Bridget, is now preparing her final recommendation.
All the steps are significantly important. Red flags are, of course, attending all the programs that the parents are required to attend. The visits are highly important. If you're not coming for your monitored visits weekly, how can we recommend them to be unmonitored, then go to overnight?
Monica has a court date on December 6th. Do you think she's ready to have her entire family back together?
I definitely think she's ready to have her entire family back.
You have to be able to jump over those hurdles. How can you grow if you don't jump over the hurdles? Yeah, it's been hard. It's been very hard. It hasn't been an easy walk at all. I won't stop, and I don't think the next person should stop either.
Monica has taken a hard look at her life in the effort to be a better parent. But will it be enough? Her children are still in the custody of the court, and it will be up to them to make the final judgment. At the Edelman Children's Court, Monica's moment of truth has arrived. Today is the day she and Troy will find out if Mwani and Kaliha will get to come home for good.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Monica. Hey, Troy.
Hi.
How you guys doing? Can I get a hug this morning? How are you?
I'm good.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
You're just okay?
A little nervous, but
Yeah?
I'm excited and nervous and scared all in one.
Did you sleep last night?
Not at all,
Why are you nervous? You've worked so hard for this day.
because they have so much power.
Because last time you were here, you felt optimistic, but you only left the court with Troy.
Yes.
Do you think something like that could happen again?
Could. Absolutely, it could.
But you feel confident that you've done all the work required?
Yes, I do.
Inside the courthouse, Mwani and Kaliha also seem cautious as they wait for their mother to join them. 6 months ago, they were all right here, expecting to be reunited. But the courts needed more time to review the case before sending the girls home. No one wants to get their hopes up too high.
We're here today for case number 13, Kaliha and Mohani. Mr. Lopez.
The Honorable Robert Draper presides over the hearing. Today, he'll hear recommendations from the separate attorneys who represent Monica and her 2 daughters and make the final ruling.
Today, the department is recommending the court find that mother is in substantial compliance with the court-ordered programs and order home of parent mother for Kaliha and Moini
I did speak to the foster mother and the children, and both report that the visits have gone well, so I have no objection to that.
Now, it's up to the judge.
With respect to Kalia and Mahani, the court makes the following findings and orders. The return of the children to mother would not create a substantial risk of detriment to the safety, protection, or physical or emotional well-being of the children. The mother has substantially complied with the case plan, has visited regularly, and has done a wonderful job in working on problems that brought us here. The suitable placement order is terminated, and the children are ordered home of mother.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After almost 1 year spent in 2 foster placements, Monica's daughters will be going home.
Congratulations. So what is this paper?
I can take them home.
It's finally a smile out of you.
All right.
Congratulations, you guys, really. Are you happy? Yeah?
All right.
Awesome. It's been a long year.
It's been a long time coming, but we got it. We made it.
How you feeling?
And we did it. I'm so excited. I'm happy. I couldn't be happier.
In a system where so many things go wrong, we've been given a glimpse of what can go right. But each situation is different, and the challenges that land families in the system can be difficult to overcome, no matter how much a parent loves their child. Despite her setbacks, Shannon isn't giving up. She's been working on her sobriety and making her visits with Lily. She has a long way to go to heal herself, but her love for her daughter remains unquestionably strong. Lily's grandmother, Kathy, tells us she's rented an apartment in California and is still hoping to get custody of Lily.
My heart feels like I just want to go get her and hold her and take her. I think sometimes a relative that loves her would be better than strangers, even though they're very nice people.
Lily's family will continue working to get her back. But for every child leaving the system, more will enter. And Los Angeles County will continue to grapple with an ongoing cycle of heartbreak and hope.